What's up, guys? On today's episode, we'll be going over the step-by-step process to clear bra my entire car, not just the front, but literally every painted surface. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I clear braing it after such an amazing paint job, and what clear bra am I using? That and more is going to be answered today on this episode of Drive and Protect. All the way in. Touch of paint. If you haven't seen the previous 964 restoration videos, click the link above. But let's just say that after 6 months of rust removal and painting the entire car in beluga black, I wanted to protect it before I hit the track. To do this, I needed to cover every painted surface in clear bra, so I called my friends David, Houston, and Zach from XPEL to help put the protective finishing touches on my car. First, I want to be crystal clear that the paint was absolutely perfect before we added the bra. In fact, before we arrived that morning, the boys at J&B Auto Body noticed the slightest imperfection in the paint and decided to lightly repolish a section of the passenger side door. It was so light that I couldn't pick it up on camera. Nonetheless, it was gone before we began the installation. Next, every painted surface that would soon have a clear bra was cleaned by hand with a mixture of Dawn soap in a rinse-free car wash. This not only cleans the paint from the recent polishing, but lubricates his hand as he feels the paint for imperfections that will later cause the bra to not lay down properly. Afterwards, the paint was dried with a microfiber towel and blown out with compressed air to remove any trapped water. At this point, the headlights, mirrors, and door handles were either removed or were not yet reinstalled since the repaint, which makes the installation much easier and significantly cleaner. Next, the area being covered, in this case the door, is measured to determine which of the different size rolls would be best while minimizing waste. Rolls come in various sizes ranging from 6-inch to 60-inch to best fit any area of the vehicle. In preparation of laying the film down, the paint is wiped one last time with 91% isopropyl alcohol in a lint-free cloth. Then that piece is measured and cut and the white backing is removed. Next, the adhesive or the sticky side and the paint is absolutely covered in soap and gel. There are typically 3 types of liquids used in the application of a clear bra: a mixture of 20% isopropyl alcohol and water, a mixture of Dawn soap and water, and third is XPEL's film gel.
This is basically water mixed with a little bit of Dawn soap, so it's our slip solution, and then the gel basically has a little bit of alcohol content in there along with some soap. And this is also the floating mechanism to keep the film off the car, so when you're squeegeeing, it gives you a lot cleaner install.
Here's another way to think about it. The soap is a floating mechanism or a slip agent used to prevent the adhesive from immediately sticking to the clear coat. The installers need to stretch and pull and move the bra in the exact spot before laying it down for good, so having the bra stick immediately would be impossible to work with. Now, the gel is thick and protective to either the paint or the bra itself, but because it has a bit of alcohol in it, it dries much quicker than soap, leaving you less time to move the material before it sticks, which, in some cases, is exactly what you want. Keep in mind, these lubricants are not only used on the paint and the sticky side of the bra, but actually on the outside of the material as well to prevent the squeegee from making marks during application. The last formula is a 20% isopropyl alcohol to water mixture and is used to wash away the slip agents when the installer is ready to have the bra stick to a contoured area like edges or hard curves that may otherwise want to pull up. In other words, the ISO increases the sticking factor by removing the slip characteristic. With the door now covered in XPEL, notice the door handle area. This is a great example of the slip agents being used that eventually collected in the divot of the handle. Notice how the jelly looks and moves. To remove the slip agents from behind the bra, Zach cut a hole where the handle meets the door and then added slip agent to the surface of the bra before applying pressure by hand to push the gel out that was later cleaned up. Next, the excess or overhanging bra was quickly removed with a blade. Typically, most installers use some type of razor blade, but these guys prefer something different.
Well, traditionally, a lot of the installers would use a red dot. It's basically a clicker knife that we call. What we like to use is an actual surgical scalpel. It's a finely tuned instrument. You have way more control. You have way more precision with this. It's the Bard Parker carbon steel blade. We like it because basically you get the best install out there. Sure, you can cut with one of these, you have no control, you have no telling of what you're cutting. With something like this, you have ultimate control. What we'll do is we'll score our film. And then whenever we're tearing off our edge of the film, you can see that you have not cut through to the surface because the film will separate like a zipper. All we're doing is just scoring the first layer of the material and then just tearing off the excess. If you were to cut through the film completely, the tailing would just completely fall off. It would not unzip basically like a zipper where you scored it.
Now, this same type of process is applied to all the other areas of the car. However, there's a huge difference from applying ClearBra to a flat door-like surface versus a curved bumper. Sort of like applying wrapping paper to a basketball versus a box. Having one solid piece of film is extremely challenging on intricate areas, which is virtually impossible to do with a computer-generated cut.
The difference between a basic plotted out, computer cut, pre-cut piece of material that you would put on a car, you put it into the plotter. The plotter's basically gonna cut out all the dimensions. It's gonna cut all your fog lamps out, all your intakes that are made for a specific vehicle. Clearly, being the unique vehicle this is, the AMMO 964, we don't have plots for this vehicle. So the best way to tackle a job like this is basically do a custom install. There's no pre-cut, there's no plotting out. We take a bulk piece of material and we basically form it, custom make it for this vehicle. The way we start doing that is we'll tack our material onto the side and we'll stretch it across, basically just making sure we get a nice even float out stretch. Tack it on this side and do the same thing. We'll come right back over, pick up this side one more time, release any kind of tack marks, put the film back down, and then just basically start custom trimming. All of our cuts, if you can barely see our edges, everything is rolled, tucked. You get the most protection out of a unique vehicle like this. If we were to go into a pre-cut for this vehicle, if there was one even available, the bumper would be in a couple of different pieces. And as you can tell with this bumper, it's all one piece, no seams.
So David, I think most people have an idea of what ClearBra is. You know, they put on the car, protects it, but can you give me, something for those guys that are saying, I'm not quite sure if it's right for me or right for my car?
I say to the enthusiasts, if you really want to enjoy and drive your car and drive it, keep it looking new like when you first bought it, paint protection film is the way to go. It's the only thing that's going to protect you from rock chips and bugs and things of that nature etching to the front end of your car. So the technology today has come light years compared to the old paint protection film where it was just raw urethane with adhesive. So today now you have the actual urethane paint protection film. It's a polyurethane film with an adhesive liner, and then as well as elastomer polymer automotive clear coat. So that was the game changer for us at XPEL. In 2011, we developed Ultimate with automotive clear coat that basically self-heals. And so that's the self-healing technology in paint protection film.
So the big question is a lot of people say, you know what, I want to put ClearBra on my car, but I'm terrified that it's going to turn yellow. So you guys prevented that? How did you do that?
Basically, and everybody in the industry is stepping up their game now and having top-coated films, and the days of ClearBra turning yellow are few and far between now compared to the old technology.
Now, with respect to its strength and elasticity, here's an extreme example to demonstrate just how much stretch is in this material. As you can see, it goes a long way before it begins to fail. Okay, now take a look at the difference between side A, which has not been ClearBra'd, and side B, which has been ClearBra'd. Notice a difference? Not really. The only thing I notice is a few bubbles and squeegee watermarks because it was literally installed minutes before I took this shot.
Now Larry, check this out. Now this is something very common where you have moisture bubbles here basically from the install. So we've got a dealer network across the world. They're squeegeeing this film down with either slip solution or gel, and they're gonna leave a little bit of moisture behind, but it's just wet moisture. It's not an air bubble. That's very common. It's gonna evaporate through the pores of the film by the end of today.
Another capability of this type of ClearBra is what's referred to as self-healing characteristics, which means when a light scratch is caused by wiping with a dirty towel, for example, you can apply heat from a heat gun or let the car sit outside in the sun, and the polymers within the material will heat up and reshape to create a flat surface. Much the same as the front bumper, the rear quarter panels are cut from one big sheet to cover the entire surface as one piece, instead of multiple pieces put together, which will show the cut lines. Keep in mind, this isn't always the case. Sometimes multiple cuts are required based on the complexity of the body of the car. I can't overemphasize the amount of stretching both Zach and Houston did on each panel of the car to conform to the shape of the body. When they were done with the rear of the car, they added another piece of plastic to the bumper that I had never thought to do, double stacking the bra.
So Larry, what we're doing here basically is because you're going to be tracking this car, and you told us before you got a lot of extra rock chips on this back bumper and this high impact area because of the tires kind of sitting out a little bit wider, we're basically going to put a double layer of protection, almost like a tearaway. So we're going to double up the XPEL Ultimate film to give you a double layer of protection right there along that back bumper on that inside edge of the wheel well.
So on both rear bumpers, I have a thin piece of material that I can now tear off at the end of the track season and replace it without redoing the entire bumper. I'm sure by now you agree that this is a ridiculous amount of precision work and the price can vary drastically.
So Larry, one of the most common questions is, okay, how much does clear bra cost? And it really varies depending on whether or not it's a small car like a Mini Cooper or a truck or an SUV and much bigger vehicle. But like on average from the windshield forward, the price could range anywhere from $1,800 all the way up to $2,500. And then of course, like we did with your car, we wrapped the entire vehicle in XPEL Ultimate Clear Bra, and that price could range anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. And of course, the pricing is going to vary depending on whether or not they're going to take off bumpers and mirrors and rocker panels and things of that nature. Well, of course, there's more labor involved to have a body guy to do all that work.
So keep in mind the variables to cost are the size of the vehicle and the area to be covered, complexity of the contours, meaning is it a flat panel or is it contoured like a Ferrari? Are there many vents or shapes to cut around? Is the car disassembled? Is the film computer cut or hand cut? And of course, the material you are using. So remember this when discussing pricing with your installer. As the guys finished the intricate wing and roof, they made their way around to the side mirrors, which are easier to do on the car instead of on the workbench because they need to pull and stretch the material without the mirror slipping and sliding around the workbench. Afterwards, they finished up the job with my headlights. If you remember from earlier when the front corner panels were installed, they strategically left the corner panel film to overhang a little bit longer on the headlight assembly. This was purposely done so that when the now protected headlight is reinstalled, no seam will be visible because the headlight housing will be sitting on top of or over the edge of the quarter panel film. Installing a clear bra is a bit of an art form that isn't learned overnight. All these subtle tricks help the material cover the paint without being noticed or interfering with the overall look. Something as common as a fold in the material called a finger, these folds beg to be squashed with a squeegee, but that simple mistake will ruin the entire look of the bra.
So what happens with those fingers, if you try to like bulldoze it and force it down, then it's going to leave you little work marks in the film. And so what he's doing is he's actually taking the squeegee and kind of feathering it down, so that way it doesn't give work marks when they're squeegeeing down. It'll give it a much better, cleaner looking install.
After a little less than 2 days, multiple gallons of soap and slip agent, and 2 boxes of XPEL Ultimate, the AMMO 964 was thoroughly protected and ready for street and track driving without diminishing the look of my recently painted car. All that was left was to add 2 layers of AMMO Reflex, and I was ready for the road. All right, well, it's been a day and a half and the car looks absolutely spectacular. Every painted surface on the car has been covered in clear bra. And the thing is, you can't really tell if the clear bra is on or off, which is exactly what I was looking for. It looks just like perfectly beautiful paint, but now it's actually protected. So before we get into the ending here, I want to give a huge thank you to my buddies. I invited them out because this is just a very long process and we've been doing this car for so long. I want to thank David, Houston, and Zach for coming out from XPEL and really showing me their expertise and teaching me a whole lot of stuff, and I couldn't be any more grateful. So thank you for that. And before I forget, I want to reiterate one more time. Normally you let a car go 60 to 90 days, let's call it, to gas out. Now this particular car, we did a lot of different things on it. We put multiple layers of clear coat. We sanded it multiple times. We put it under heat lamps. We put it in the booth, and then we put it outside. So this is not exactly a normal circumstance. Nonetheless, we still let it gas out for 30 days. So we're totally cool to put a clear bra on, but I know a lot of you are going to say, you didn't wait enough time, that whole thing. In this case, it's just a little bit of a special case because we did so many things. So if you do that, you can shorten the period from 60 to 90 days to about 30 days. So that's my kind of big thing I wanted to make sure I pounded home on this video because I know there's going to be a lot of comments. Anyways, as always, if you have any comments or questions, shoot me an email at larry@ammonyc.com. This has been an amazing process. Still more to come. We're working on the interior, but I wanted to take you through a step-by-step process of putting clear bra on every single painted surface. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.